Hi and welcome to another video. Now, if you remember, I posted a video based on this PC build. I did a video building this PC with a certain components. Well, I'm here today to just go through all the changes and also to follow up on the benchmarking with the original build, because I did mention that I was going to do a benchmarking video for the original build and I had not done it yet, which I'm going to talk about that today. And then we're going to get into the upgrades and downgrades of this PC and the changes and all that kind of stuff. And also this might just enlighten you with some more knowledge, because it enlightened me quite a lot, on how it had to be changed and what I learned through the changes. So nevertheless, let me just go through a quick talk about the benchmarking for the original build. So the original build had a CPU that was actually an APU, meaning it's an integrated graphics processor. It had only 2 cores and only 2 threads, I believe. So it was an A6-9500 by AMD, and I was running Fortnite at around 30 to 60 FPS on the lowest settings possible, and it was not fun at all. You cannot even go in-game and play smooth gameplay. I surprisingly actually got some solo wins with that old CPU on the lowest res possible, and it was just really a very bad experience with the 2 cores, 2 threads CPU. So I was looking to upgrade this PC to also add to the value of the PC. So what I did was I came in contact with a group of people called Triforce Online. I came in contact with them. I was looking to put a graphics card in this PC. What happened was I found a graphics card that was in my budget, and I went through and I got the graphics card. When I got home and I plugged everything in and I started to test the graphics card with the current setup I had, I did not make any other changes. I only put the graphics card in, and I'll go into the depth of the details obviously with the graphics card later on in this video. But I put in now the graphics card, and I thought to myself, everything's gonna be absolutely superb with this graphics card. I go into the game and there's no change whatsoever. I think to myself, there is something major wrong here. I don't even know what is going on. So I contacted Jared from Triforce Online. He's the guy that pretty much runs the place. Really friendly people as well, really nice people to work with. So I had a chat with him, and he laid a lot of knowledge on me when it comes to dedicated graphics cards compatibility with the CPU pretty much. So I had a 2 cores, 2 thread CPU with a 2 GB graphics card. Bad combination. The CPU cannot be used for gaming at all. So I took it to their workshop, and the guy Jared was quite friendly to help me out with the changes that needed to be made with this PC, and I'm going to go through those changes in a moment. But I just want to mention that triforceonline.co.za is a website that you can go to. I'll put in the description the link to the website, and you can have a look and see if you have any sort of desires to get a PC built for you to your custom preferences. Do you want a mining rig and so many other things? So there's a lot of computer hardware and things like that you can have a look at if you want to check it out. Just giving them a shout out to say thank you to them. They did not, well, they helped me out a lot with the PC. I'll explain how they helped me out during the details process. But guys, go check out triforceonline.co.za. They really helped me a lot with this build, and I just want to give them credit for how they helped me with this build. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into opening up this PC with the side panel, and then I'll show you all the details inside and all the changes and upgrades and downgrades. Let's get to it. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the PC on just for fun, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna unscrew all these thumb screws and take the side panel off. I'm just going to loosen them first, and then I will just unscrew these thumb screws and put them sort of all together, make sure that they don't get lost. And so you're gonna see actually quite a difference if you did watch the original build video that I did. Yeah, it's quite a change. So let me just put this mark down quickly, and then I can take off the side panel. Okay, so as you can see, we have this graphics card in here, which I spoke about as the 2 GB graphics card. And then I'll go through all the changes as well. So let me just bring it a little bit closer. And then, so first of all, this is the major change, like I said, the graphics card. Now let's go into detail what this graphics card is. This is a Msi Radeon R7 360 2 GB graphics card. I believe it is overclock. I think it is a overclocked version, so you can overclock this, but I haven't messed around with overclocking. I think it may already be overclocked. I believe it is actually overclocked because it does run at 100% on certain games. So this graphics card is actually fantastic. It gives me much better FPS. You know, for example, in Fortnite I can get over 100 FPS with this graphics card. On 720p I can even get over like 200 FPS with this graphics card, which is what I don't actually need because my monitor is sadly only a 60 FPS. Next is the motherboard. It's a Foxconn motherboard, which is, I believe, a little older, which means that it does have to have the DDR3 RAM instead of the DDR4. That doesn't really affect it much because even though this is DDR3 with slightly less speed of RAM, it nevertheless performs just fine. Okay, moving on to the CPU. We have, as you can see, Intel CPU cooler on here, which means there is an Intel Core i5 inside here. That is an Intel Core i5 4590. And so it's 4 cores, 4 thread CPU, quite a much better CPU that, you know, works much better with graphics cards, which, you know, obviously is what I needed. Okay, so that's pretty much the upgrades and downgrades in this section. Yeah, if we go to the right hand side, you'll see that I did get some extra storage. Besides the original 120 gigabyte SSD I have in here, I did put in another 120 gigabyte SSD in here, and this is a King Max SMV SATA 3 SSD. So again, so we got about 240 gigabytes of storage now, so we did upgrade slightly with that. The power supply is still the same. As you can see, we got the mustard and catch-up cables still. So with the power supply is still the same, 550 watts, which is more than capable enough, you know, for this, you know, entry-level kind of gaming PC. And that's pretty much all the details, all the upgrades and downgrades with this PC. Let's go on to finishing off this video, and we will put this side panel back on. Okay, so as you can see, I've put all these thumb screws in, but what I'm going to show you now is the fact that I have not fully tightened each one. I've just sort of made sure it stays in place, but it's not completed yet. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tighten each one, not to the max, just, you know, almost to the max. And we're going to start, say, for example, on the top right, then we're going to go to the bottom left. So we're going to go opposite sections to get an even tightening around, you know, across the board. We're now going to go to the bottom right, then the top left, and then the middle right, middle left. And that's pretty much, you know, just to make sure you get a safe, kind of snug, perfect fit with your side panel. Now I'm just going to tighten all of them together, sort of in opposite directions like this, and boom. That is pretty much all you have to do, just to make sure that it gets snug and safe on there. Perfect stuff. The goal for this channel is to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I obviously also am looking for 4,000 watch time hours, which will enable me to monetize this channel. When I can monetize this channel and start making money from YouTube, that is when I can fund this channel to do more, to focus on more knowledge of products, more knowledge of computers, more knowledge on pretty much anything. We can discuss a lot about so many different things, when we do have a little bit of support and funding for this channel. So I really appreciate it if you drop a like, subscribe, and help the algorithm. If you want to, you can also just share, copy link or whatever. Nevertheless, thank you for watching this video. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.